have a gift for you. It's a superpower. And it's your power which you have the right to reclaim. Because you see, this unimaginably powerful skill that we all have, to shift our energy at will, is so powerful, because we often overlook the implication. If only we can get over our own stubbornness, our own clinging to certain states, that then we gain the freedom to actually choose. And so I want to highlight to you that in this moment, if you will, you can get on with my invitation and to generate an emotion of gratitude. So bring a smile to your face and just feel into your heart. Feel this appreciation, this gratitude just emanating from your heart space. And if you need, you can think of a loved one, a pet, maybe a circumstance that happened in your life, just something that you can feel gratitude for. Maybe just simply being alive right now. So do this with me. Practice right now. Just feel into that. How easy and accessible is that? And so it might take a little trial and error in order to get it right, but it is very easy. And we don't even need an object or something in order to be grateful for. No, we can simply generate that emotion at any time, at will. And so similarly, I want you to reminisce back to a time that caused you much sorrow, grief, sadness, a very difficult time in your life that just radically made things worse. And just think back and feel the heaviness downing upon your heart. Just, yeah, it's sad, isn't it? Yeah. And just notice that shift in energy. Just notice the power that you have within you to choose what you want to feel. And so we often overlook this because we are in this very circumstantially triggered mode of going about our lives, which is that something happens, right? And we have a reaction to whatever circumstance arises. And so we sort of identify with not only the circumstance, but also the one reacting to the circumstance. And so we find ourselves in the clutches of this whole narrative. And it is very difficult when we find ourselves in this mode of identification, in this locked in emotional state, in this trigger state. And it might be an uplifting state even, because if we're around happy, joyful, kind, compassionate people, and we feel into their energy, and we just absorb that energy field into ourselves, of course we will feel happy, joyful, grateful, and content to be here, present and alive, right? So it is very easy to be swayed by the circumstances that present themselves, but the freedom and the key really here is to surpass the circumstances, because that is how we step into our manifestation powers, our own inner abundance, that we fill ourselves up. Because if we only let circumstances control our inner states, we're like a flag waving around in the wind, right? We're like a leaf blowing around. And in this way, life just has its ways with us. You're not in control, and you're just at the whims of whatever happens at any time. And that is not a very good place to be, because life oftentimes can be quite rough. Right? I sure have had my share of beatings in this time around, and if I was never able to see past that, if I was never able to just observe that, hey, I'm in this reactionary state, and to just notice like that entire mode of being, which is sort of like encapsulated in this identity bubble of sorts, which if you have the humbleness, if you have the earnestness to see, to be with that whole whole narrative, to just see it for what it is, and to realize that, hey, this is not serving me. This is not who I am. This is not true. This is not my own nature. This is not something that I'm willing to continue to bring out into the world. Because not only does it impact you, that you delve into these often triggered states of being, but it's also often in response to your loved ones, to the people closest to you, because arguments don't happen, typically speaking, with strangers and whoever you just encounter in your day-to-day. No, it happens with the people you care the most about. And so it is quite ironic in this way. And really, people in our lives, people close to us, have this gift of being able to push our buttons beyond anyone else in this lifetime. And that is a great gift, because then we're able to help each other to see our own narratives, our own trigger points, and to transcend those. And one way, at least, to transcend them is to be humble and to realize, recognize, and be willing to shift our energy at will, which I've just demonstrated to you, that you're able to do, right? And so it's a very compassionate thing to do, to ourselves, to people in our lives, and it just makes all things a lot lighter and easier. And it does require that we really be with and investigate into whatever it is that we are taking on board, whatever narrative, whatever limitation we confine ourselves by, and to just see that, hey, this is not bringing me any good. This is just tearing down. And when we realize that, when we see how much havoc it causes, how limited, how much suffering we feel, then we can shift. And sometimes it's not as linear as just feeling into. Sometimes you need to shift your surroundings, go for a walk. If you've had an argument with your partner, just go over to them, hug them. You don't need to say any words. Just the mere action of shifting to something else, to doing what's opposite of what your narrative wants you to do, right? That is sometimes enough to shift. And the moment you shift, it's instant oftentimes. Oftentimes it is. It might take a while. You might have to talk some things through if it's pertaining to someone else. But oftentimes it's just like letting go, which I don't like the term of, but that's for another video. But you see, sometimes it's just, letting things pass on, realizing that they don't serve, and knowing that you have the option, the opportunity, and the gift, the superpower to shift. I love you. Take care. Check out the description down below. Find my spiritual life coaching program. I'd love to see you there. Hi.